In this movie, I'll show you setting under Windows 8 and later. So you can double click on image file here at the desktop and have open inside Photoshop or some other program. If you have access exercise file by default, four files have the exact same name meet. They actually meet.jpg, meet.png, meet.psd and meet.tif. And the reason I am including these files is because JPEG, PNG, PSD and TIFF represented the four most image file formats. When working inside Photoshop, we want able to see these file extensions. You make them visible. Go to the View menu here inside the folder window and you click on it. Then go ahead and turn on this checkbox File Name Extensions on. And now you can see the file name extension meet.jpg, meet.png, meet.psd and meet.tif. Now make sure these files open inside Photoshop, which for the most part they want by default. For example, if I double click on welcome.jpg, the files open inside the photo viewer. And you can't edit the JPEG file. For a moment, close this file. If I double click on meet.png, it also opens inside the photo viewer. For quit that app, we press keyboard shortcut to close this image. Alt plus F4. You want these files actually open inside Photoshop. Go ahead and right click on meet.jpg, then choose open with and then drop down to choose default program. And notice first option is keep using photos because photos is currently default app. We want Adobe Photoshop. So I go and select that option and you can see that file open inside Photoshop. We have a vertical toolbox here in the left hand side and we have got some panels here in the right hand side of window. We have a menu bar and option bar at the top. Now let's do the same thing for the other files. Go ahead and minimize the Photoshop for a moment and then right click on meet.png once again, click open with and then choose default program. Go ahead and select the Adobe Photoshop again. That file open in Photoshop as well. And if you want to confirm that you have got the things, just minimize the Photoshop again. And if you want to open JPEG file always in Photoshop, then right click on JPEG file, choose open with and then choose default program. You see image viewer option is default option. Just click on Adobe Photoshop and then turn on this checkbox and then click OK. Now whenever you double click on this JPEG file, this file open inside Photoshop. Now minimize this Photoshop files for a moment. Next, go ahead and skip the PSD file for a moment and move on meet.tif. Double click on this file, it will open in image viewer. So again close this file. And then I right click on that file, choose open with and then choose default program. Go and select Adobe Photoshop and the file will open inside Photoshop. That leaves us just one file which is the native PSD file. Go ahead and minimize the Photoshop for the moment. And then select meet.psd file and then double click on it. There is almost no chance that this file can open inside anything but by default in Photoshop. If I double click on this file, This file will open inside Photoshop and it looks great. And that, friends, is have you set up Windows 8 and later so that every key image file, either JPEG, PNG, PSD or TIFF, open inside Photoshop.